But the idea, the premise is good, and it just depends on the people who are backing it. Because the fact is that if you have certain people, but that's where that conspiracy theorist comes in, is you can't trust people.
No.
And that's the reason why they haven't done it yet. And if you can get honest people, which is, I know I don't know why in this day and age that seems like such a stretch to say if we get honest people, but if you can get some honest people to actually run this, I think it would be great. Because the thing is you're talking about getting rid of the welfare state. People aren't just doing things to try and get on welfare. People aren't just doing whatever they have to do to just get free money, because now all
they're just be getting free.
Yeah, now they're just getting it, and it's a matter of what you do with it. So if you're not responsible and you blow your money, that's on you.
Exactly.
That's on you. I think that's perfect. I think if you can get people to actually do
the system would be great, but like I said, I see where it's going.
I do too. But I tried not to think about it in that way, and I know a lot of Americans would. They would be like, well, I mean, the 500 is great, and we're getting it this way. But here's the thing. Let's say they started to do the chip. If you were saving your money, would you just be like, all right, cool, I'll just take I got my extra however much, $12,000, and just be like, look, they did it for 2 years. And after those 2 to 3 years, then they're like, well, we don't do paper checks anymore. Would you take this chip? Would you just be like, no, and just keep the money they have? Or do you want to just continue getting money?
I don't know, man. That's the thing. It sucks, right?
Yeah, that's like the hardest.
It's one
decision.
of those moral dilemmas.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good study, because they're doing the study in Kenya, and they say they're gonna do it for about 12 years, and after 12 years, they're gonna see how people's lives are, because that gives their kids a chance to get older, get into if they're eating right and taking care of themselves. Obviously, their family's gonna get better, so it gives them a chance to kind of see how everything's gonna work.
It's all on the individual, but like I said, I see where it's going. I see where it's headed. And me personally, I believe it's going to be a 3 to 5 year window. I'm getting as much as I can out of that 3 to 5 years.
And then you're stopping?
I'm trying to move out. I'm trying to get out of the country, even though I know there's probably going to be a penalty to leave.
Yeah,
you're probably going to have to give up half of that money.
That's the thing. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
You know, America's going to get theirs.
Because, bro, I told you before, man. I call it population control. I think that's the way. That's the way that if people want to leave and they want to buy property somewhere else, that's fine.
Yeah, but you're not gonna leave without paying. They're already doing that now. If you want to, what's it called? Was it depatriate?
Is it
expatriate? Expatriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay to leave.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It seems interesting, bro. Like, I think that's pretty freaking cool, to be honest with you.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good for a lot of people, but like I said, they don't do good things.
They don't.
Not in this country, bro.
They don't. Not without some type of consequence.
Yeah, there's always a consequence.
It seems great on the outside, and then
as much as I love this country, I know the people who run it do not.
Yeah. Oh no, they love it. They love the capitalist ideas of it.
Yeah.
That's what it is, bro. Since they love the money aspect of it. This is the American dream, bro.
But that's just me. I'm a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, you're that guy. You're that guy.
Or alternative thinker is what they call it.
Is that what they call conspiracy theorists now?
Yeah, because conspiracy theorists it's like a bad rap. Like, first thing you think is like tinfoil hats and all that other shit. But if you actually think about it, a lot of these conspiracy theories came out to be true.
A lot. Well, yeah, because
a majority of them came out
because
to be true.
Because a lot of conspiracy theory is based on certain facts.
It's facts.
Yeah, there's a certain fact that you just cling to, and you're like, all right, this, and then you
10 years ago when I was telling people, hey, they can hear you through when your phone is off, they can still hear you.
Well, yeah,
the Xbox, that shit's watching you. They were like, no, that's all bullshit. Guess what?
No, the NSA
came out and said, yeah, we do, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was one of the things Comey, that was one of the things that came out when Comey said when they were talking about that's the whole wiretapping thing.
Yeah.
But they've been doing that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like 10 years ago, nobody even believed that. And it was facts.
Yeah, but you can hack it.
And they just came out last week and said, oh, yeah, World Trade Center 7, yeah, that was a demolition.
Yeah.
Okay, so why did it take you guys 16 years to admit to something that we said 16 years ago? Not World Trade Center 1 and 2. We're talking about why did 7 come down? The one with all the financial records. Oh, wait. No, well, that had debris and it caught fire on the inside. And now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, yeah, it was controlled demolition. Just saying, bro, these are facts. And this is stuff that I was saying when it happened. I was like, this is not right. And they're like, no, you're crazy. Well, guess what? 16 years later, guess who was right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's 16 years later.
Yeah, because you don't find out till way down the road.
Yeah, because they figure that's when it's safe to tell.
So I'm thinking the truth about 1 and 2 is probably going to come out in another 20 to 30 years. Is when they'll be like, oh yeah, well it turns out.
Here's the thing, man.
It was for our own good.
I've been watching 24. I've seen 24. The thing is I used to be so scared of that show because of the fact that 24 was so close to everything that was like actually happening. Like when you see the terrorist attacks that used to happen on 24, it's because they threatened the president or some high-ranking official, and he had to make a decision between this catastrophe and this catastrophe.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, look, this is going to cause a lot less casualties, so I'll do this one. And then when it happens, nobody knows about it, but wait, the entire intelligence community knew about it because they had to choose one or the other, and they were backed into a corner. That happens in real life. Like, a lot of people seem to, I don't know if they don't think it happens or they know it happens and they just kind of
Well, a lot of people just don't want it. Yeah, they kind of don't want to hear it. They're like, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you live here. That's the thing, is a lot of stuff that happens through our government. A lot of people are like, hey, look, I'm cool. As long as I take care of myself, it won't be a problem. Yeah, until you start looking at your pay. Here's the thing. When you start looking at your paychecks and all of a sudden every year you're starting to lose $40 extra and you can't figure out why, it's because all those bills you weren't paying attention to that were passing through Congress and all the stuff that people were protesting about, and you just drove by in your Buick. You were like, I don't know what they're protesting about. And that's what happens, bro. We start getting all this stuff passed. All of a sudden, people are goose stepping. We're losing money, and nobody knows what's going on. And we got a Chinese flag.
Basically.
There you go. I don't know, man. I think just to sum it all up, I think that universal basic income is good until the chip.
Yeah, until the chip comes.
It's good until the chip comes because it's definitely a good idea. But
don't worry, we got time. They got to put the wall up first.
Yeah,
and then the chip will come.
They got to put up Trump wall. Remember, it's going to be Trump wall. I don't know if he's named it yet, but that's what's going to happen, man. It's going to be Trump wall. So let's move into the throwback story.
Throwback story of the week. Back in the 90s.
What do you got?
A gentleman by the name of why am I forgetting his? Rodney King.
How'd you forget that name?
I don't know, because I just drew a blank. We're real quick.
Yeah, you know what?
It's a real quick blank.
It's that Friday. It's that show.
He was pulled over.
Yeah,
I guess it was for speeding. And he got his ass whooped by several LAPD officers.
Yeah, it was a lot. I think it was like 6 or 7.
It was like 6 or 7, and this was before the days of cell phone cameras.
Yeah.
Everybody was talking, cops beat up people.
Yeah, but then they get it on a helicopter.
And they were all like, no, that's not possible. Cops don't do that.
Yeah,
I remember that. It turns out a guy pulled over, and he had a home video camera.
Yeah.
One of those VHS shoulder-held deals.
The big ones.
So he pulled over, started recording.
And they didn't
watch this man get his ass whooped, didn't resist, just was a straight-up beat down. Yeah. Billy clubs, kicks to the head.
All that good stuff.
Everybody was like, these cops... They got it on film. There's no way that any of these cops are going to beat this trial.
Sure enough.
Trial comes. Every single cop was not guilty. And it's sad to say that nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Back then, no video footage. Just happened to be lucky that this one guy caught it. Even though they had the footage, still beat the trial.
Yeah.
Fast forward 30 plus years later. Everybody's got cameras.
And it's still happening.
Actually, 20 plus years later.
Yeah. It's like
everybody's got cameras. Everybody's on their phones got cameras. And still,
it happens.
They beat the trial. But this is the anniversary of one of the most famous quotes ever. He was being interviewed after the trial. This is after the riots, because everybody knows, if you don't research
exactly what happened
because of this trial. And it was another incident that happened beforehand where the same issue happened, But this wasn't a cop killing. This was a lady who owned a store.
Oh, yeah.
Said somebody robbed her or was going to rob her. So she shot up the girl. Turns out the girl wasn't trying to rob her, but they had all that on film.
Yep.
That lady beat the trial. People were pissed, but nobody was rioting until the verdict from this one dropped, and then that's when the city burned.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was versus black. It didn't matter.
Yeah, there
what
was
it
no justice.
Yeah.
As to this day, nothing has changed.
They said, bro, and what was the? I remember the quote that came from. It was like, "No justice, no peace."
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that.
So this was the quick interview after the riots. Everything kind of calmed down, and they interviewed Mr. Rodney King. So we're gonna play that now.
I just want to say, can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids? And I mean, we've got enough smog here in Los Angeles. Let alone to deal with the setting these fires and things. It's just not right. It's not right, and it's not gonna change anything. We'll get our justice. They've won the battle, but they haven't won the war. We'll have our day in court, and that's all we want. And just, I'm neutral. I love people of color. I'm not like they picking me out to be. We've got to quit. We've got to quit. After all, I mean, I can understand the first upset for the first 2 hours after the verdict, but to keep going on like this, and to see the security guard shot on the ground, it's just not right. It's just not right, because those people will never go home to their families again. And I mean, please, we can get along here. We all can get along. We just gotta, I mean, we're all stuck here for a while. Let's try to work it out. Let's try to beat it. Let's try and work it out.
It's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, can we all just get along? That's
gonna be the quote that I take from that, obviously.
Can we all just
But just to touch on it again, like, you heard the helicopters flying. I don't know if you heard them.
Yeah.
The helicopter. That was wild shit was still happening.
Yeah. The
it
riots
got so bad that they said, yo, we got to get Rodney King a microphone.
Yeah.
Because they figured, oh, well, everybody's rioting because of this. Maybe he can calm shit down. He couldn't calm it down, man.
No. There was nothing that was going to calm that. There was nothing that was going to calm that down, because at the time, it was just tension. It was so much tension.
Built up tension.
And what was happening was...
And that was 25 years ago.
Yeah. And I can't even... Bro, I don't think... Like, we've had riots happen. Obviously, they had the one in Baltimore. They had the one in St. Louis.
Yeah.
They had a couple of riots happen since then. But the L.A. riots are literally still the top level.
Like, aside from the Chicago riots back in the 70s.
Yeah, aside from those. But as far as, like, this...
And, of course, the Bronx. But it's not like...
But it wasn't like this. It wasn't like this, man. This one, I believe they call them the military. I think the National Guard had to come in.
National Guard came in. Like, cops are scared to even go to neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah. And then, obviously Reginald Denny got the retaliation from what happened. And the thing was, I mean, it was bad. The LA riots that was a dark time in American history, and I think Bill Clinton was president. I want to say Bill Clinton was president.
Yeah,
when that
back
happened.
in '92.
Yeah, and what a way to start your presidency.
Yeah,
because that was his first year, and the city of LA is starting to burn. So maybe Trump's not doing so bad.
I don't know, man. It's like listening to that. It blows my mind that we have not gone anywhere.
Bro, there's things. If
anything, we're going backwards, because when President